We have a plus 180 line for Rafael dos Anjos, minus 210 for Rafael Fiziev. What do you make of that betting line off the jump?
I mean, it's everybody saw, and it's kind of a little crazy. It's not closer because of Rafael dos Anjos. We're just gonna say RDA because I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep messing up the R's and the hops. RDA's last fight, how he handled himself, man. I'm kind of surprised that the betting line is a little bit closer. But Fiziev, man, this dude, this way he strikes,
Yeah.
especially training at Tiger Muay Thai, Piotr Jan, all the whole background he has. I think everybody's very, very hyped on what Fiziev has to do. I'm not surprised he's the favorite, but I am surprised it's this big of a gap. So there might be some live dog status right there for RDA.
I do think RDA is a very clear underdog play. Hedge your bet, if anything, man. You got to throw a little something on RDA just because you never know what can happen. But I do think a big reason why the betting line is what it is because just look at the difference between the Moicano fights between both of these fighters. When Fiziev fought him, he knocked him out in the first round. When RDA fought him, he dominated him with a lot of good wrestling. But we did see Moicano kind of storm back in his own way to where the win got diminished towards rounds 4 and 5, which theoretically, AJ, those are supposed to be the rounds that RDA shined in the most. You know, RDA has about 10 5-round fights to his name throughout his career. He has experience, and I think that's the other issue. So let me ask you that. How much of a factor do you think that's going to play in this matchup? We know Fiziev could bring it rounds 1, 2, and 3. I mean, if you look at his last 5, he only has 2 finishes, 3 decision wins. So he can do 3 rounds no problem and look fresh more or less all 3 rounds. But we don't really know what he looks like rounds 4 and 5. Is that the opportunity for RDA to take over, or do you think RDA needs to get out to an early, fast start if he wants to have success in this matchup?
I think RDA needs to be able to weather that striking storm. If you've ever done any striking or any you even listen to the commentary talk about big movements or kicks or stuff like that, it does drain the gas tank a lot more when you're throwing this big limb around trying to hurt somebody, start doing some spinning stuff, trying to set up your things. That's going to be Fiziev rounds 1 through 3. Trying to set things up, go big kicks, be on that front foot, be on the back foot, light front foot, and just attacking. It does drain the gas tank. Now RDA, I mean, the one bad part I see about this, RDA, he's got an ego. You know, he's down for the brawl. He's down to put a showtime, experience for everybody. And it can lead to some downfall. But I expect him to also come in and wrestle a little bit, which also drains the gas tank. So I think if he starts off slow, gets, a good base to him, shows Fiziev that the fight is going to take place on the ground as well. We're not just going to be striking. I think that'll be able to drain that gas tank, and we'll see a better rounds 3 through 5 for RDA.
Okay, that's fair. And I guess that you basically led to my next question, which was, do you think RDA will even have any success in the wrestling? Yes, he is a phenomenal wrestler, phenomenal jiu-jitsu. Rafael Fiziev has only been taken down once in his, 6 UFC appearances, and that once was a split-second takedown in his last fight against Brad Riddell, which he immediately grabbed a whizzer. He went to a tripod, all the technical things you're supposed to do, and he got back up. Like, Brad Riddell literally let him go and said, all right, let's get back up to the feet, because he knew he was in a position to where, all right, this is what it is, man. So that's the question. Can RDA effectively wrestle him, or do you think it would be not advantageous of him because just the gassing out thing you were just talking about? He could drain his own gas tank there.
It's a double-edged sword, and the bad thing is, you said it, man, Fiziev is very, very, very good at stuffing takedowns, and even if he does get taken down, like you said, against a killer like Brad Riddell, who's amazing on the ground, he's able to post up and get to his feet when the other guy knows, like, oh, okay, I'm not in a position where we can actually get this going. It's hard, man. Yeah. So, I mean, I want RDA to get things to the ground. I don't know if RDA is going to be able to get things to the ground. Do you feel the same, or do you think he's able to do it?
But I think that's why the betting line is what it is, because I don't think people are confident. The odds makers, I don't think they're confident that RDA could do that, because that's his path to victory. Hold Rafael Fiziev down for 5 rounds. Like, literally, that's your path to victory. If you're Rafael Fiziev, if you could stuff a takedown, if you could pull a Chris Curtis and just stuff the takedown to keep it standing, it's going to be difficult, man. And the reason why is because RDA is very crafty on the feet, has that rear leg body kick out of that southpaw stance that's nasty. But Fiziev, he's a switch stance fighter, always switching stances, and he sits down when he throws. That's the difference right there. Fiziev could fight forwards, he could fight backwards, but he's most effective when he's downhill, really sitting down on those shots. So if he gets RDA back against the cage, right, clinches him up a little bit, steps back, throws in the elbow, throwing the big hooks and all that good stuff, RDA has only been knocked out 3 times in his illustrious, over 40-fight career, almost 45-fight career. Do we see a finish in this fight?
Man, I honestly don't think so. I mean,
Okay.
maybe
Okay.
because the striking of Fiziev is very, very talented, and the scary part about him, his combos are long, and on those last couple shots, that's where he really sits down and puts the power to it. Man, very dangerous kick. So I can see a knockout happening. I'm not predicting it. I think this one's going to the judges. I think, like you said, RDA is a very weathered, gritty, old school veteran fighter, and I don't think he's going to put enough holes in his game to be able to for Fiziev to exploit them. I'm not seeing a KO, although it could happen. You know, anything's possible. We see it down there. They're looking the TKO prop, excuse me, for Fiziev is the same prop for RDA or close to it, something like that. About I can't
It's
even read that
yeah,
far.
we're
It's
plus two.
100 off or so, but it's still
Yeah.
either way better than his opponent's decision prop. Man, it's kind of insane. There could be a knockout. I'm not calling for it though. Are you?
Yeah, so I think it's difficult because on one hand, it's hard to imagine RDA fighting Fiziev and then just getting starched out. You're like, look at the last five he's fought: Kevin Lee, Leon Edwards, Michael Chiesa, Paul Felder, Renato Moicano. Right. The whole key is that he was able to go up to another weight class, go up to 170, and still have success. He went 4-4 at welterweight, so it's a wash. It's not like you got your ass kicked a bunch. He had some great wins. So for Fiziev to come in, yeah, he's a powerhouse Muay Thai guy, but to just knock him out, I find it a little hard to believe. So I understand you're taking the over here and you're rocking with the decision for Fiziev, and I think that the decision is a fair play, brother, honestly, because there's two ways that I see this fight going out. One is a decision on the end of Fiziev. The other one, it could be a decision on the end of RDA, but what I like a little more than that is look at that plus 600 submission prop right there, bro. RDA has 10 submission wins under his belt, never been submitted himself. What are the odds that he can just put the backpack on Fiziev? Because that could happen, man. Brad Riddell was very close to being able to just hop on his back right there, put the body lock around him, and then start working that rear naked choke, man. I can see that in the realm of possibility. I just kind of wonder here, AJ, why the TKO prop for RDA is plus 1,000. The submission prop is plus 600, and the decision is plus 325. I'm just kind of in awe that the numbers are so astronomically high. Do you feel me with that?
I feel you with that, Derek. I think they're just hating on my boy RDA. That's for those props, man. Because that TK, when I saw plus 1,000, that's exactly what went to my mind. Is that they just hating on my boy, man. Because when you're striking with the striker, there are holes to be presented. And especially if somebody goes in with his ego, we saw what happened to Sean Strickland last week. Fiziev comes in with the same aspect where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna bang on this dude." That can happen, man. You could get put to sleep, especially with a veteran like RDA. Or, like you said, he can jump on. The chaos happens. You overextend. Next thing you know, you got a backpack on you with the dude with his hand under your chin. That plus 600, one of those I could see hedging your bet on being a nice outcome for you for sure.
And I was going to say the same exact thing. I'm rocking with Rafael Fiziev decision victory here against the legend in RDA. But if I'm hedging my bet, I am not only just picking an RDA plus 180 for the RDA money line. Like I throw $5 on a plus 180 money line, but I would also throw $5 on that plus 600 submission right there. Just because, man, that's $10, man. If you have $200 to play with, that's nothing for you right there. It's a good hedge of your bet right there. So Rafael Fiziev decision victory, and that is your main card right there, folks.